And the wait is over. The Buffalo Sabres have selected their 2019 seventh overall draft pick, and that is Trevor Zegras. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I got this right. So I want to talk about that, of course, guys. I'm glad you could join me on Believers Talk. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe. Of course, you all know that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Buffalo Sabres picking up Dylan Cousins, center from Lethbridge. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. So we're going to talk about him, of course, here. We're going to talk about the 31st overall pick, which the Sabres have later tonight. Might not be live that long, though. That seems like it might be a little late by the time that happens. But thank you for joining me on Believers Talk again. And we'll talk about it, guys. If you guys come in here, we'll happily discuss what is going on with the Buffalo Sabres right now in the 2019 NHL Draft. Again, we have 2 draft picks. We have the 31st pick coming up later. We pick up a center. We were talking about, or at least the analysts were talking about size, the Sabres needing size. So that's what we pick up here in this draft. So again, thank you for joining my Believers Talk again. We don't just cover the Buffalo Bills here, even though that's most of our coverage. We do also cover the Buffalo Sabres, so you want to be here for that. So thank you for joining me. We also cover the Buffalo Bulls, the Buffalo Bisons. The Buffalo Bisons are actually moving up the standings a little bit, so good to see that as well. So again, we're going to continue to talk about these things. I just posted on Twitter that we're going live, so hopefully people will join me here as we talk about the Buffalo Sabres, talk about Dylan Cousins and what he brings to the Buffalo Sabres. Now, we know that the Sabres are struggling through the longest playoff drought, current active playoff drought, and that's gonna happen. We're used to active playoff droughts in Buffalo, and hopefully this guy will help us get over that hump and help us get back into the playoffs. So again, I'm gonna wait a little bit, let people join me. I'm looking up stats as we speak. Hi, Maestro, thank you for joining me. I enjoy when I go live too. Unfortunately, as far as football goes, we all know that this is kind of like the dead time of year for the football season. So it's hard for me to go live with any type of news there. But you do want to follow and subscribe as I continue to cover the Buffalo Bills 53-man roster, who from that 90-man roster is going to be cut out. There's going to be a lot of tough cuts, guys, like I said before. But who's going to be able to rise above and make that 53-man roster. So I have pulled up the stats on Dylan Cousins. Again, he's a center, right-handed center, was born in 2001. I'm getting too old for this, guys. These guys are born in the 2000s and they're getting drafted. That's crazy. 18 years old, 6 foot 3 inches tall, 180 pounds, and he was the 7th overall pick by our Buffalo Sabres just now. Spent 3 years with the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the WHL. This past season, played in 68 games, 34 goals, 50 assists for 84 points. Spent 30 minutes in the penalty box, a plus-minus of plus 32. That's a really impressive. They did have a playoff run this year, so hopefully he continues that success as a Sabre, and they have a playoff run. Scored 4 goals, had 4 assists, 8 points in 7 games. So you have to be excited to get this guy here again. The Buffalo Bills mean, hey. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everyone who is here in this room again. Thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. Right now at commercial break, like I said, I'm still watching the NHL Draft, and the Buffalo Sabres will have another pick here in a little bit. But for now, we have to talk about that 7th overall pick, Dylan Cousins. Do you guys like the pick? Do you guys hate the pick? Let me know what you think. Fox87, welcome to Believers Talk. Thank you for joining me. Always glad to have you on here. I think it's a good fit. Again, everyone's talking about how the Sabres need size. Well, that's what this guy brings. This guy brings a lot of size. As I see, my camera's a little tilted. I'll try to get that fixed. But this guy does bring a lot of size, and he's a center. We need offensive weapons, right? You talk about Kruger coming in, new head coach, getting his new coaching staff together. And we talk about the offensive mind that Ralph Kruger is, and we hope that he continues to be that for the Buffalo Sabres as we wait to see what happens as they show Cole Caulfield, waiting still to hear his name. That was a name that was very much related to the Buffalo Sabres as far as who might get picked up. I personally like Matthew Boldy. He's still on the board as well. Maybe the Sabres can package some picks together and move up. I don't know. I don't know how easy that is to do here in the NHL draft as is in the NFL draft. So we'll wait to see what happens. But again, we do have that 31st overall pick. I feel like we could use another defenseman. I think you can never have too many defensemen on your team. So that's probably like a good position to have good depth in. So maybe use another defenseman as the Anaheim Ducks are currently making their selection. But like I said, I'm a huge fan of Matthew Boldy just because he's a left winger, and we've talked before about how the Sabres are in need of a left winger because we have had some guys go on free agency. Now, of course, we did re-sign Jeff Skinner, and that's huge, right? That's huge. We're very happy about that. Some Sabres fans think it's for too much money, but we went over that, and I don't think it's for too much money. $9 million. That's not. I think that's about right now. My worry is in 5-6 years, he's still going to be worth that money because it's going every year. We have that $9 million hit to our draft cap, and I think between him and Eichel, they take up 32%. I think they said of our salary cap now, so that's kind of depressing. To know that two players take up that big of a chunk. That's actually the biggest chunk for two players in the NHL for one team to take up. So we'll see what happens as far as the contracts go. Obviously, Jack Eichel, Jeff Skinner now are going to be cornerstones for this team, right? I mean, they're going to be the guys that turn this thing around. 8 seasons without making the playoffs, that's not good. That's we need to expect more. I did a video probably 3 months ago about how I believe, and I still believe this, that the city of Buffalo will have 2 championships within the next 10 years, whether it be NFL, NHL, whether it be March Madness with the Bulls or the college football championship, probably not with the Bulls, but I really do believe that they will have 2 championships. We just saw Buttes in the finals. Unfortunately, they couldn't pull it out. We just saw the Bandits, our lacrosse team, they were in the finals. They couldn't pull it out. So, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. Hopefully that changes soon for the city of Buffalo, for Buffalo sports. So, again, I wanted to get on here and talk about Dylan Cozens. Not much that we know about him as of yet. Hopefully we learn more before the season starts. The great thing about hockey, if you're a hockey fan, not that big of an off season, right? You only have a few months of off season before they're right back at it. You figure the Stanley Cup just ended. Congratulations to the St. Louis Blues, of course. Anytime I see the Bruins lose, I'm a happy guy. And then you have the draft, and then in 2-3 months they're going to start the NHL season right back up. So it goes bang, bang, bang. So it's kind of cool to see. But now they're on the 10th overall pick. Like I said, I don't think I'll be here for the whole first round. As Bob McKenzie is talking about his best available, and the Canucks are on the clock here with 2:50 to go for their pick. Again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, like this video. Like I said, we don't just cover the Buffalo Bills. We do other sports. I know sometimes they're not as popular, as I could tell by the views, of course. But we covered Sierra Dillard when she broke 1,000 points in basketball for the women Bulls team. We talked about the men's Bulls team when they were making a March Madness run, going after the MAC championship. We talked about the Buffalo Bulls football team. We actually were live to cover the game against Troy, their bowl game. Unfortunately, came out the wrong end of that one. But we are live a whole bunch to cover all kinds of Buffalo sports. Again, mostly Buffalo Bills, but we do cover the Buffalo Sabres. We do cover other Buffalo sports. So again, you want to hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. What do you think about Dylan Cozens now that he is a Buffalo Sabre? What do you want to see the Sabres do next as they have the 31st overall pick? Again, I wanted to get on here just give you guys a little bit of an update on our Sabres. Hopefully this is the start of something good. Hopefully now we got Jack Eichel. We just signed Jeff Skinner. We have a whole new coaching staff, and now we're going to get that young depth, that size that we want at that center position. Now we pick up Dylan Cozens. Again, I'll go over his stats from the previous couple years with the WHL, with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. In 2018-2019, played in 68 games, 34 goals, 50 assists for 84 points. Played 7 games in the playoffs, had 8 points. pretty impressive. That's over a point per game, obviously. 4 goals, 4 assists, which is kind of nice to see. You like to see a guy who knows when he has to take over, score some goals. You like to see a guy, I mean, Jack Eichel was a perfect example of that this past season. He wasn't wowing people with goals scored, but that's because he knew what he needed to do. He needed to get the puck into other people's on other people's sticks so they could score the goals. Had a lot of assists this season to Jack Eichel. So you like seeing a guy who knows when to score goals, but also knows when to be an assist guy as well. The previous year, he had 22 goals, 31 assists in 57 games. So again, you see a little bit of improvement, more games played, more points. Again, 84 points, 68 games. Pretty impressive, over a point per game, and a plus 32, which what that means is his team, the Lethbridge Hurricanes, they scored 32 more goals than the opposition when he was on the ice. And that's a pretty impressive stat there. So you like seeing stats like that, especially when it comes to your hockey team. Again, I know that there are not as many Sabres fans as there are Buffalo Bills fans, but again, we cover all Buffalo sports here on Believers Talk. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I just tweeted draft day is always fun no matter what sport it is, because it's a new beginning, right? It's a new beginning, so it's always fun to see. We just had the NBA draft not too long ago. We have the NHL draft tonight. It's a lot of fun, and we have the second round tomorrow. So we NFL fans, make sure it makes sense, Maestro. So with the NHL draft, again, I'm new to the NHL draft too, so I'll try to explain as much as I can. For me, defensemen are kind of like your defensive backs in the NFL. You can never have enough of them, right? You can never have enough. So you always want to make sure if there's a good defenseman available, you want to pick them up. When it comes to the lines, the trenches, the closest thing you have to that is probably the left and right wingers, right? The wingers are the guys who kind of set you up, who make everything possible, even though the center is the one who takes credit for everything. That's really what I believe. And then who's your quarterback? Well, that's the goalie, obviously, right? Nothing beats a good goalie. And you see that every year in the playoffs. If a goalie can't be stopped, then he can't be stopped. There's nothing like it. I always say that I wonder if the goalie is the most important position in sports. A lot of people say the quarterback is the most important position in sports. But man, I've seen quarterbacks put out 52, 60 points on offense and still lose games. You go back to Tony Romo when he played Peyton Manning. I think it was Denver versus Dallas, probably about 5 years ago now. I think the final score was like 55-52. And, so you could put up as many points as you want as a quarterback, but if your defense isn't there to help you out, then you're going to lose. With a goalie, it doesn't matter. If a goalie does not allow a puck to get in his net, sooner or later, you're going to win. You're going to win. So, but yeah, when it comes to the draft, like you look at the draft board at the NHL level, first of all, you have to realize that at the NHL level, you're talking about a 17, 18, 19 man bench. You're not talking about 53 man roster. So you look at the same thing with the NBA draft, right? NBA draft, talking about a 19, 17, something like that. Man roster, so you don't have to fill as many positions, but you still want to do your best to fill these positions, obviously, the best you can. Now, with the NHL, with the NBA, again, I'm kind of new to the draft scene there. This message is helpful. I'm a day 2 noob. I'm going to show this. I don't know why did it come up saying it was hiding it. Yes. Yeah, me too. I was 100% against Boston, Maestro. And I've gone back and forth on hockey. I do love the Sabres. I do appreciate hockey. But I feel like in my lifetime, hockey is matched with baseball as far as which sport has been the most strikes. And that just never is good. And the sad thing about hockey is hockey used to have an ESPN contract. They used to have games on ESPN. And they're just now getting popular again with NBC. They did talk about how this NHL Finals was like the most popular finals in a while, so that's good. And NHL Finals, I don't know if it's there or not, but NHL Finals is the most was the highest rated finals in a long time. And yes, anytime people can root against Boston recently, they've chosen to root against Boston. Is it fair? Maybe not. But is it fair that Boston's won 200 of the last 205 championships? No, it's not. So currently the Flyers are on the clock, and if you live near me, you're probably a Flyers fan. I deal with Flyers fans all the time, just because I am closer to Philadelphia than I am to Buffalo. Actually, I'm probably about less than 2 hours away from Philadelphia. So they have I thought it said they had 8 first-round picks tonight. They don't. They had 8 first-round picks in the previous 6 drafts. So we'll see what the Flyers do here. Still a lot of good names left on this board. Names that I'm not 100% sure about. Again, it's really hard. Like with football, it's easy, right? You have college football, and that's pretty well widespread as well, just like the NHL is, or just like the NFL is. With the NHL, it's a little bit tougher. You don't have you have the Frozen Four in college, but you also have international hockey. You have a bunch of different international hockey leagues where a lot of these players come from. A lot of them go there after high school to start getting paid, and then that's where they come from in the NHL draft. And so you don't get to hear about these players until they're picked up. You look them up as soon as you see their name called. So we'll see what happens with these guys. Again, you don't want to say too much. You don't want to say a guy's going to be a bust or a guy's going to be a good player without knowing much about him. Again, I just looked up Dylan Cozin's stats, and again, he's going to be a center position, shoots right-handed, which when you have a center, he more than likely is going to shoot right-handed. So they're showing Luke Hughes right now, who's still sitting on the bench. The Hughes family, they're showing it right now, actually has a lot of hockey in their blood right now. As Quinn Hughes was selected 7th overall in 2018. What happened there? But I'm happy that hockey is getting new fans, Maestro. So I'm happy to see that other people are tuning in, getting interest in hockey. Again, it's a sport that I think lost a lot of its steam. Probably back in the early 2000s when they went on strike, I think it was. At that time, like I said, they had an ESPN contract. They looked like their ratings were going up. And then all of a sudden, bam, just one strike. And that's why I'm in baseball too. That's what happens. That's why players, owners, they should really try everything they can not to go on strike. We've heard baseball already talking about possibly going on strike again. As Matthew Boldy, my guy, I really am a huge Matthew Boldy fan. Trade alert here. Let's see who the Flyers have traded with. To the Arizona Coyotes for the 14th pick. So again, I still have one of my guys, but Matthew Boldy up there. And again, the reason why I like him, you got to talk about a left winger. We need left wingers. Again, we did re-sign Skinner, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods as far as left wing goes. So we'll see what happens. But again, guys, more than likely, I'm not going to stay on here the whole time. Trade alert, the Coyotes received the 11th overall pick. The Flyers received the 14th and the 45th. So that's a trade alert there coming at you. If you're a Flyers or a Coyotes fan, not sure if you're going to join me for the stream, but you can be happy about that. If you're a Flyers fan, again, you're moving down 3 spots, and just like in any draft, it's not that bad, right? If you have 3 good guys on your board, still a lot of good names out there, you can definitely get a good draft pick. So again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name's Joe. Again, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. We do keep you up to date on the Buffalo Bills. You see the stuff behind me. We do keep you up to date on the Buffalo Sabres as we get ready for as we're watching the NHL draft and get ready for the 2019-2020 season. And we try to keep you up to date on all Buffalo sports. Again, I see 2 championships coming to the city in the next 10 years. So I look forward to watching that with you all and bringing that content to you. Right now, we're breaking down the Bills 90-man roster, finding out who's going to make that 53-man roster. We're doing the Buffalo Sabres right now, doing live stream of the NHL draft. I will be live streaming some Buffalo Sabres games as well. We did that last year. We'll probably do that again this year. And those are a lot of fun as well. So we'll see what happens. And even if I'm not streaming the games, even if I'm streaming something else, I'll have the game in on my ear, right? So like if you're watching me on the live stream talking about the Bills and the Sabres games on, I'll be listening to it on the radio as I'm streaming, and I'll keep you up to date on what's going on, because I want to give you guys the most content that I can when it comes to Buffalo sports. So again, thank you for joining me. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're watching this after the fact, I appreciate you coming on here and watching to see us talk about Dylan Cozens. Again, the Buffalo Sabres with the 7th overall pick Dylan Cozens. Not the most popular pick, I think, that a lot of Buffalo fans were talking about, but at the same time, there was a surprise pick right before us. So, that left Dylan Cousins open for us to take. I think a lot of people thought he would be off the board by this time, but you talk about 6'3", a 6'3" guy. You can't go wrong there. 180 pounds. Maybe you could afford a little beefing up. But that's going to come with time. That's going to come with time. You're talking about an 18-year-old kid, just graduated high school, and I was going to play. I'm probably going to go down to the AHL, play for Rochester for a few years to hone his skills. But then he's going to come up to the Sabres, and he's going to join Jack Eichel. He's going to join Jeff Skinner, who both have long-term contracts with the Sabres. And hopefully by that time, and maybe he's going to come right away and make an impact. It all depends how he does. But hopefully he helps us end this playoff drought. 8-year playoff drought, guys. It's not 19 years, and let's get that straight. It's not 19, but 8 years is tough enough. We don't need to wait 19 years. Let's get to the playoffs right now. So, Maestro, are you a Sabres fan? I know you just talked about starting to root for hockey. Are you turning into a Sabres fan since you are a Bills fan, or are you just watching at this point and not sure who you are a fan of right now? Cole Caulfield is still available, and I know again that's a name that a lot of people had the Buffalo Sabres picking up. So he's still out there. Again, I really like Matthew Boldy. He's still out there. The Arizona Cardinals select Victor Soderstrom from Sweden, defenseman from Sweden. Again, you can never have too many defensemen, right? You can never have too many good defensemen. You just saw Boston in the finals, right? Chara had to leave the game because he broke his jaw. Now he came back in Game 7 with a broken jaw, and that's how crazy hockey players are. But you want someone who can fill that role for when Chara goes out. You have someone back there who can do a good job, and it's a little tougher. It's a little tougher to talk about depth on a team when you only talk about 18, 19 guys on your roster. So you do want to see what happens, but you can dip down into the AHL or wherever they are in the minor league system to get these players if someone gets hurt. But you still want to see the best players on the ice at all times. So, but again, thank you for joining me. I'm watching to see if we get any new comments right now. If I miss you, again, I apologize. And just remember to keep resending it if I miss you, so that way I can see it again. Don't be annoying about it, but do your best. So the Coyotes just picked. They were pick 11 again. 31 seems a little far away. It's currently 9:20. So I might be getting off here in a second. But again, thank you for joining me. Hope you guys enjoy the NHL draft. If you are NHL fans, if you're not, if you're a casual fan not watching the draft, have better things to do on a Friday night. I understand that completely. But maybe you come on here after the fact to get a breakdown of what the Sabres did with the 7th overall pick. I tell you what, if I am awake for the 31st pick, I will definitely bring that to you as well. But for right now, the Buffalo Sabres with the 7th overall pick select Dylan Cousins, and that's pretty much the news. So again, drop a like, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this pickup. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or don't you know anything about it? And any of those are fine. Again, thank you for joining my Believers Talk. I look forward to talking to you all soon. We'll talk more Sabres. We'll talk more Bills. We'll talk more Buffalo sports. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.